Right now, my brain is stuffed full of anatomy and physiology and the endocrine system. So, yay, hormones. They're amazing.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Server Restart In. It is usually a weekly World of Warcraft podcast.
We've had a bit of a break.
With 3 opinionated players like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim, joined by Kristen.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hello.
And we're back.
We're back.
Yay.
Woo!
Yay.
Life is not as hard at the moment.
To quote Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, life finds a way, ... to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Hopefully everybody else is doing well.
Yeah, everybody missed us, I know.
I'm sure.
Just nonstop. Where you guys at? When's the next episode coming out? Nonstop. I mean, inbox flooded. I mean, like, I had to
wade through
delete
it
like 6 times. Just
yeah.
all emails.
Yeah.
Crazy. So we are about a week and a half now from patch 10.1 dropping.
You said that with like a question mark at the end of it.
I did not. That's because I'm sick.
Oh, okay. I'm like, 10.1.
Oh man, I was like
10.1.
I was more like is the 10 right?
Oh,
it's like 10.1. But
okay.
Yeah, 10.1. With probably one of the most important features to come into play, and that will be the cross-faction guild system.
Wah, wah, wah.
Will be coming out.
I'm very excited for it. Me and one other person in the guild, or I don't know. I'm not going to do it day one because something's going to be messed up. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
You'll change, and you won't be able to do anything.
yeah, I won't be able to do anything, and I'll be like, that's not going to work.
They do have a post out, just like a little blog thing from a couple days ago. Basically just a reminder that that
shit has happened.
the leaders faction denotes the guild's faction.
Yeah, I gotta
vendors
step down.
Vendors will still reflect the guild's primary faction. The achievements that are based on killing opposite faction stuff or whatever don't go towards you are that opposite faction. Let's see. Guild repairs, social conveniences like the shared chat and stuff will be available. And then you got to be Battle.net friends or a part of the same Battle.net community to invite or receive invitations.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, it's like the current way. That's the only way that you can invite cross faction. Well, no, I guess if you're doing Group Finder, you can do it too. But that might be considered like a cross faction community. They might have changed that, but for the most part, you have to have a way to invite it because outside of these inside instances and stuff like that, it's still unfriendly or hostile.
Yeah, it's stupid. I can't hang out in Orgrimmar as a night elf, and I'm super sad about that. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It makes me sad. And that
Baby
means that
steps.
when I want to screw around with anybody in the guild,
Go to Valdrakken where everybody is.
I
Nobody's
guess.
in Orgrimmar. What are you talking about?
I guess. Well, usually when you're screwing around, you're not screwing around in the current expansion. You're screwing around in other expansions.
You shouldn't be screwing around. There's a lot of shit to do.
Oh my god. There's not a lot of shit to do. The only thing I want to do is Mythic Plus and Raid. That's it. That's all I want to do. That's it.
So with the not the advent, but the approaching eve of 10.1, they released a new cinematic.
Oh yeah.
And it was what was it called? Entrance or Embers of Neltharis or something. What the hell was the name of that
I
damn
don't
thing?
know. Through the Looking Glass?
Opening the Way.
That's it.
And it had them basically
Opening the way?
opening the way to Oh.
Sorry. It was right there. It was super low-hanging fruit. I'm sorry. That was beneath me.
Basically, the primal aspects, or the primals, or whatever the fuck they're called. Are they called the primals? No.
Primalists.
I guess they are the primals. The three that Razageth freed are opening the way to Neltharian's secret underground cavern and shit like that, Aberrus or whatever. And so
the laboratory.
And they open it and send Farak down, who's the fire dude, and he just burst a hole in the ground,
That was so cool.
Well, and the way you go down there, like I did it on the PTR, like way back when it first came out, is you just fly down in it. And so you're like kind of like flying through the tunnel into the new zone. So it's pretty cool. But they made mention of the elders, awakening the elders. And so what that is, I don't know. Who they are, don't know. They mentioned that they're going to be the aspects and nightmares. So
what?
They tell Farak to go down and awaken the elders, and they'll be like. So I don't know if these are related.
How many layers is there to this, Jim? Good Lord!
I don't know if this is related to old gods. I don't know if this is related to just ancient dragon stuff, or what.
Just dragon things.
Like, is it related to Galakron or something like that? Was he an elder dragon or something like that? I don't know. Don't know.
Can we just have Galakron make his official entry and be done?
No, we don't want that.
Well, you should though, because he should be like impossible to beat.
And then the game's over, and that's how they start WoW 2?
What? Impossible to beat.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah. If he's impossible to beat, what's the point of playing the game?
Wouldn't we?
I mean,
wouldn't we end up dying, and wouldn't we end up going back to the Shadowlands? Because I don't want to go back there.
Shadowlands, dude.
Oh, that'd be so
Shadowlands
bad.
2.0.
Oh my god.
Because I'm gonna pass on that.
I mean, it's either that or we just keep peeling back an onion, right?
I do not like.
I mean,
how fucked up would that be? They just had like a cycle. It was
That
like
would
at the
be
end of every
terrible.
expansion, you went back to the Shadowlands, and they said, "Oh, back again, traveler, huh?"
Oh my
Oh,
god!
No, but
Mawwalker,
this
you have
time-
returned.
This time you keep your dragon, but you can't fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing with the 10.1 is we had talked about the Echo of Neltharion fight, had the class callouts, and apparently they've removed those.
Oh no! Did they really?
Because I think that they are afraid, or people that were testing or something like that, we're going to start building comps to avoid the worst ones.
Sure.
Which then goes back to bring the class, not the player kind of thing.
I thought they got rid of the bring the player, not the class. I thought they walked that back because it was.
Well, that's kind of how it is now.
No. I thought they wanted you to bring the player, not the class.
Right. And so, but putting in.
But I thought they walked that back, and they were kind of going back for spec, identity and we want you to be able to be the class, and they can't make up their mind.
It's the whole concept of that isn't to bring specific classes for class flavor. It was anti-bringing classes based on how well they function, and this kind of mechanic forces you, or not forces, but would cause you to build comps that would avoid certain classes.
Sure.
Which then you see them kind of cut out of it. And so they don't want that, because that is not conducive to a thing. So yeah, it's more bring the player who's playing whatever they want to play, because all classes offer something as opposed to whatever. So like I forget what they said that they were changing it to, but it's just.
I mean, here's the thing. You can do that, but just don't make it impactful. You know what I mean? Make it a flavor thing. Boom. It's still a flavor thing. It's still cool. It's still a cool aspect of the fight. It's just not.
But what do you do that doesn't have any? If it doesn't impact the fight, it's a dead mechanic, and there's no mechanic
it's a
around.
Flavor mechanic.
I mean, he can still make call outs and not do anything, but then it's like, but if nothing happens, it's not cool. It's just text, and nobody pays attention to fucking in-game text
until
until never. Like the only ones that you know, or you can only delay the inevitable, and that's from the Forge of Souls.
I mean, if they
inedible, Jim. It's inedible.
If they made them so they actually they telegraphed stuff, so you didn't need weak auras to do stuff, then people would pay more attention to that stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If they were used smartly as telegraph mechanics, then yes. So then you hear, oh, this is coming. I know that I need to do this. You know,
then you force people to play with sound on, and a lot of people don't do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Text. If it does it in the text, then you see it in the text thing.
How often do you look at the text?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
That's why I have weak auras.
Yeah. No. I'll tell you what, even if it was in the text and even if it did mean something, you would use a weak aura because it gives a different visual cue and you don't have to read because it takes time to read and you lose seconds.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
not the point.
There's things that you could do to, think about text things. You could change colors for text-based things. So, okay, this is a green text-based thing. I need to do this for a green text-based thing, and this is a red text-based thing. So I know I need to stop casting, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. There's stuff that they could do. It's just that they don't.
You say that, but the chat system has never been utilized for that, and hardly.
That is not true. We have known some players who have used that and not used DBM and used it very effectively.
Yeah, but for the most part, there's not necessarily an indication for that all the time, and that is a small minority of players. The majority of the player base doesn't use the text for anything like that. So. Anyway,
I'm just saying, I think it would be a neat thing. Hey, maybe they don't use it, but maybe they could use it. There's, I
mean, it's there. You can use it. It does things. And you can, I don't know. The thing is that they took away the class call out stuff because it would foment a need to bring certain classes, and they don't want that, which is fine. I don't know what they were replacing it with. But, let's see, what else is coming out? Mythic Plus 2, or Season 2 is coming out, and they've made some pretty good changes to the affixes. What did they do? They removed explosives completely, and volcanic has been brought back in. They made some changes around the, what's it called? The explosive, giving more health, and that didn't work out. So they got rid of it. They kind of changed the levels that they come in.
So you're saying this is the last week for explosive?
Is there explosive in this week? Yep. Then, yeah. And it's not going to have any of the changes that they put in, so it's still the low health stuff. So, yeah, I mean the changes are pretty good. Battlecat doesn't agree, but
I don't know. I was watching people doing affixes with the new or doing Mythic Pluses with the new affixes.
Right.
And they seem okay.
The only main new ones is the entangling one.
Yeah.
Which you just got to run that out, or probably shapeshift if you're a druid. Mm-hmm. Which they've nerfed it. Afflicted is you got to heal or decurse or whatever the souls.
The one that turns them in Incorporeal?
No, that's a different one.
No, I know. They were doing that one, and they said it was terrible.
Well, they changed it so that they fade away when combat ends. So it's not like Spiteful, where they hang out.
Yeah.
Which is good. Spiteful's still in there, but
they should make it so because it's very frustrating as a healer to have to drink, and then not.
Well, if you're a night elf, you can just shadow meld, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they reduce their damage and stuff like that. So I mean it's going to be interesting. So getting rid of explosive is nice.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of a pain in the ass.
What does that one do?
That's the orbs.
Yeah, the orbs, like the big balls show up and you have to kill them before they explode. And you can't tab target to them and they're not hit by AoE. They have to take a direct attack.
That wasn't the balls on me one, is it?
No. That was a specific one
that was
Shadowlands.
Yeah, that was
yeah. That was one where you got the buff from the dude that popped up, right? You killed him and you get a buff? No, that wasn't it, was it?
No, it's the one where you were glowing red, you had to run out, and then balls would come out from you, and other people had to avoid it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balls on
Dodge my balls.
Balls on me.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too.
It's such a pain in the ass.
I mean, kind of like thundering. Pain in the ass.
Yeah, thunder. The problem with thundering is that if it happens when shit's going sideways, it's easy to forget about it.
And it's funny too because somebody made a really good analogy today on it, and it's kind of like when you get hit by and you don't clear it. It's kind of like cutscene death, right? Because you're especially if you're doing like higher keys, that stun. And then that 6 seconds of being stunned, and then you take damage too, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, there's some stuff that you can use to break out of it. Like I can use Icebound Fortitude sometimes if it's up. So, I mean, it's not always guaranteed, but it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it's hard because when you're doing no coup defensive and you're killing a pack of centaurs and then a pack comes by and runs in and then thundering goes off and you're too busy trying to not stand in the AoE shit that they do. And all of a sudden, before you know it, the whatever timer's gone off and it's just like,
yeah,
and you're just like, fuck.
And you've got multiple packs and now you've got, it's frustrating for sure. You can make a weak aura for it, but that doesn't,
Well, DBM
do anything.
does a caller timeout too when it hits 5 and counts down. So I mean, you at least if you're not like completely spazzing out, you can maybe catch it. But there is a blue post about the trading post that's good news.
What's that?
That all items, or it says items will return and become available again in the future.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you miss something because you can't buy it or you can't carry it over or whatever, you don't have to worry.
That's nice.
They said that they're getting a lot of feedback and stuff on it, and they're getting data about what people are doing and what type of items they're buying, what activities they're using to get the tender and all that stuff, how early in the month they make their purchases, and many other things. Because I probably screwed that data up the first one because I made it all in the beginning of the month, like on the first day. I haven't been doing that since, but it was new and shiny. But it was.
I wait until the last couple. Did I even finish it? I don't.
It's not over yet. You still got.
No, I know, but normally by this time,
No,
usually
I
2
bet you
weeks
did.
in, and I usually finish it. I may have.
Because we did mythics
I
and
just
stuff
didn't.
like that.
I just
in
didn't
Raid.
think to check it. Yeah.
Well, it's some of the stuff just kind of you may need to check.
But we missed a week of reading, so that might also be because we didn't read on Easter.
Yeah.
So
I'm also leveling other characters, so I'm doing stuff like that.
Characters or Death Knights?
I haven't got to the Death Knights yet. I'm doing all the regular classes first.
Oh my!
I'm on my warrior now.
Oh my!
Yeah. It was funny. I logged in, and the only other 2 people on were warriors. It was funny.
I got on the other day twice, but
Just been busy,
Yeah.
man. Busy with work and just dealing with stuff. It's just trying to find time to get in and do stuff has been a pain. But yeah, so they're still working on the trading post, taking feedback and stuff like that. So that's good. The fact that things are going to cycle back in, and aren't gone forever is good. That's good to know. It's good to get confirmation on that. So like eventually you'll get to a point where most of the things that you have, or like, I don't know how they're going to add new things as well as keep cycling in old things and stuff like that, but maybe they'll make a feature to where, it's like you can choose a legacy item that's already been in the thing. Like one of the slots is like pick one for this and it's a little bit more or something. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Apparently in 10.1 they're going to be increasing player health and enemy damage by 25% in another patch, because apparently healers are too good.
Well, that's annoying.
Wait, what?
They are going to be increasing damage by enemies and player health by 25%.
They're doing what? No, go ahead. Sorry.
Player health is going up by 25%.
Okay.
Enemy damage is going up by 25%.
Oh,
It
what
says-
does that do?
It says-
Like it's you're equaling
on.
it by the same amount.
Let's.
It
Well, no, the damage they do isn't.
going up by 25%.
Yes. So, like something that
So-
does 50% of your health now does 70. If it's depending on how the damage is calculated, it's not equivalent, right?
But
You're getting a bigger pool, but enemies' abilities are going to be doing more damage.
sure, so
general.
you're getting hit 25% harder, and you're getting 25% health.
No. It's not. They're not equivalent amounts. Okay. It's not that. It's not. It's not. Oh, it comes out in the wash. By them doing more damage, their hits do more, and then. But it's not doing more. Equivalent. It's not. It's not like, oh, you're getting 500 more health and they're just doing 500 more damage, kind of thing, because you get a static amount and they're all their abilities do more damage and they continually do them. It's not whatever. They said that this is similar to an adjustment they made just before the launch for the same Dragonflight.
What is the reasoning for it?
You know what? That's a good question, and I happen to have an answer for it.
Oh, good.
Because I was just getting to that.
Because you said something about healers, and that was what,
I know.
and I missed what you said, so that was what I was
It had something to
asking.
do with healers being too powerful when compared to player health. Their heals heal way more than the available health. So it's like, oh, hey guys, it's almost time to record the podcast. This is what happens when you change times and you don't change the alarm. They say it's because they're too powerful compared to players' health. So what it means is that
So healers are healing more. So they don't want to nerf healers. So instead, they're going to make mobs hit harder.
so that way healers can do their job without having to.
Fall asleep.
Some people don't DPS as healers, right?
I don't fall asleep when I'm healing.
That's because people take
I know.
avoidable damage.
I know.
What dungeon were
I
we
know.
in? It was like millions of,
Yeah.
and it was like
Yeah.
it was because of it was or volcanic or no quaking. We took so much fucking damage. Was it a 17 ruby life pools or something like that? It was rough, man. It was
a lot of damage. Like, I heal a lot of damage. When we do boss fights, I hit 50k healing on some of those boss fights. Like, it's not that I don't have time to heal. It's what it is, and this is what's very frustrating to me, is the top people aren't having they're having to DPS because not having to DPS, but they're DPSing because they don't have a lot of stuff to heal. Well, good for them. But us lower tier people are still having to heal. So now let's make it a little bit harder for the lower tier people, and I guess give the higher tier people who are like 1% of the people something to do. Oh, joy.
Well, let me read this to you and see if this makes sense. It says, when damage mitigation abilities, so that's not healers necessarily, that could be tanks and other things. When damage mitigation abilities and healing are too strong relative to player health, the only way to threaten players is to make enemy damage very high and spiky.
Ugh!
No, this is not what they're doing. This is what they're trying to avoid having the big spikes, right? It says if healers can very quickly top off their teammates and mana isn't a limiting factor, enemies have to be tuned to have the capacity to do burst damage that kills players before healers can react. This isn't very satisfying gameplay, right? You don't want that. You don't want stuff that you can't heal because it just happens and you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So increasing player health and tuning enemies' ability damage appropriately gives players more time to react to incoming damage, and it makes players' choices about cooldowns and mana management more meaningful. So instead of just making the enemies hit harder so you actually have to heal because everything else is, it's kind of making it more powerful, but putting more a bigger pool in there so you have time to react. So it's not spiky damage, but it's consistent damage. So
I mean, it's been like that for me no matter what. Like,
that has
come
to do
down to our level.
Well, that's
you know, like that's what's frustrating.
Well, I mean, they're also making changes to hybrid healing spells, items, enchantments, and such, as well as percentage-based healing spells. So they're, increasing self-heals and stuff like that. So the changes for druids that's all.
What?
For the non-healer classes.
Yeah, I don't think they've changed.
No, they're not increasing the healer stuff. They're increasing everybody else's like mitigation stuff to be in line with like their health pools and stuff like that. Let's see. So, but you had talked about too that there was some enchantment stuff, right, on some of the weapons or a healing buff that you were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah. There is so again, I was watching people streaming just doing PTR stuff. And there was a healer weapon that has a support enchant on it, which looked really interesting, where occasionally it will. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because it says the player that you're targeting, and I use mouse over macro, so I don't specifically target people.
That counts as targeting, I believe.
Does it? Okay.
Because it's who the spell gets cast
It
on.
will occasionally give them a boatload of stats, which I thought was really cool. So, that is kind of interesting because it's like, oh, that is kind of more supporty, and it is better than just healing. It's because now it's random. So.
Okay, I actually have that pulled up.
Okay.
So it's called Spore Tender. And it says permanently enchants a weapon to cultivate living spores. Very druidy. And it says causing your healing spells and abilities to occasionally send an invigorating spore cloud to your target.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
So whoever the heal is targeting, you have a chance of it doing this. It'll grant them 1367 of their highest secondary stat for 20 seconds.
Damn.
Yeah.
So they missed the mark. It really should have been 1333.
1337.
1337. I'm sorry, that's right. But yeah, that's
I knew what you meant,
I said
Jim.
that to somebody the other day. I said, hey, your Mythic Plus score is elite. And they didn't get it. And then they said, and I was super sad because I explained it to them, and they're like, oh, I don't get it. I'm old. And I'm like, no.
I'm like, leech speak is old.
Leet is old. Like, no. No, you can't say you're old and you don't get it because Leet is old. It was funny, though. I was like,
It says it looks like it currently has a 2 RPPM proc rate. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. RPPM?
Proc per minute.
Rate to proc per minute?
Maybe ratio or something like that. I mean, I see it a lot of times. People use it for like trinkets and stuff like that. So, but I just don't ever pay attention because I just use, because I don't care. I'm terrible. That's too much effort for me to.
Okay, yeah. So it says if you have an RPPM of 2, it will proc 2 times per minute on average.
Yeah. Which never works for me because I have shitty luck. And RNG hates me.
Well, if you were to average it out over the course or whatever, it would probably average that. Sometimes you might get some that are closer together, some farther apart, but yeah, that's a neat enchant.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I think that it would be great if they started doing more stuff like that, going the more supporty route. I like that, make it so, not that healers aren't needed because I happen to like to be needed, but, make it so that you can do other things. Like, I know you say doing damage is a form of supporting in dungeons, and I wouldn't disagree with that. It is. But I don't necessarily... I would love to do damage. Like I said, I would absolutely love to sit there and be a healer and do damage in keys. We're just not there yet. and we have recently dipped our toe into 20s.
We did a 20.
Dang.
And
with the temple?
And it was a temple. It was a 20 temple. Tyrannical. So yeah.
It was rough.
We didn't time it. Of course, we didn't think we were gonna time it. But we
completed it. And that's what's important.
And that was what was important. And we got some experience. That was the main That was the main point for it. And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do it, was we wanted to see the difference, because we had successfully been doing 16s and 17s and 18s. And again, we're not, streamers or mythic players. So
we don't get carries. We don't get secret.
We're not. We're also not 20. So we don't have the
I am 20 at heart.
The visual acuity the twitch reflexes.
20, I'm 20 twice.
Yeah, you're 20 twice. So
our comp is also weird. So
yeah, well, we're all melee right now, and I absolutely hate it. I hate it because everybody eats frontals that they shouldn't eat, or eats something that they shouldn't eat. And then I have to heal, and I can't DPS. And it's like, well, okay. So that's why I'm saying when they're making these changes, well, that's great for the people who aren't healing anyway, but I'm healing nonstop. I'm always healing. There's very little opportunity for me to DPS. I throw out Moonfires, I throw out Sunfires, and every once in a while when things are all grouped up, I'll be like, oh, let me Starfire a bunch of things. Sometimes I get to go into Kitty and rip something or ferocious bite something or whatever, but not that often. It just doesn't happen. I spend a lot of time and a lot of globals healing, and part of that is my own fault because I don't necessarily trust my HOTS fully or know exactly how, because
it's still the panic killer in you.
Well, it's not. It's that, but it's also because the damage isn't as predictable as damage in, say, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is very scripted. You know exactly what... They don't have, this spell or this spell. They have, a boss has an AoE spell. It has a single target tank spell. And that's it. And maybe some weird mechanic you have to run out of or something, right? For the most part, in dungeons, right? Those are the mechanics in Final Fantasy. So this is going to be an AoE spell. And this happens once every minute or so. Boom, you know what it's happening, and then you can heal it, and then you could go. I DPS like crazy in Final Fantasy because I know that my spells are going to be able to heal, bring everybody up to full when that damage does occur, and then I can go right back to DPSing. That is not the case in WoW because there is so much damage coming in and out, and it's so spiky, and it's so... Well, when they say not spiky, I disagree.
Okay, so the thing with the spiky damage that we see is because we're doing keys that are so high. And when you start getting up...
Yeah, people get one shot.
And exactly, when you start ramping them up, it's hundreds...
People get one shot,
it's hundreds of percent more stuff, and things just hit hard.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be...
It feels weird that our gear, which is equivalent to those levels, is not sufficient enough hit point wise to allow it so we can handle that. You know what I mean? Or our damage even.
If 420s are dropping, or if level 20s are dropping like 421 gear or something like that, or 418.
Or 421, I thought it was.
Yeah, we're a little bit below.
Yeah, I'm now 411 or something like that. So I guess we are a little below.
But I mean, but that's to be expected. You know what I mean? It's like people are doing these keys probably at like 400 eye level because they know, one, they're probably taking specific comps with certain builds.
Well, some people pug and do it successfully.
Well, some people get carried when they pug too.
Sure.
But that aside, it's also doing it a lot and knowing what to expect, and which we don't do. We don't do it several times a week. You know, it's like we wait till the last fucking minute and do it Monday night and do a couple of keys.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Which makes it difficult to get things done. But, you know, is what it is, right?
Well, we put in very little time into it. We put in a night. And I know everybody would be willing to put in more.
If we had more time,
but we just don't.
But we're professionals.
But
and adults.
I mean, I'll be honest. I never ever thought I would ever do heal a 20 key and have the healing not be the problem with why we didn't time the key. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the lack of my damage, because that wasn't it either. You know.
No, I mean it's
Was,
doable.
it was good. It feels nice to do that.
It's something to work on, and it's something to work towards. So yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You know, you just gotta put in the effort. You know, and if you get a decent team built and stuff like that, people that are consistent, you can keep moving. So. But,
yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. I've been enjoying it like a lot. Like I really have. Like, I wish we could do it more because I do. Like I said, I do enjoy it. That is probably, other than raiding, that is what I have found the most enjoyment in this X pack.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay, you heard it here. She enjoyed something in the game. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it here and end on a high note.
Oh, we're not going to...
And we're going to...
Oh, okay.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. It's great to be back. And just mark your calendars. Kristen likes something about the game.
Oh, my God.
You can shoot us a tweet at server_restart. You can check us out on facebook.com/server_restartin. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.